How did I get started in the business? I was seduced. Working at a good restaurant is it's a very sexy place to work. The space is beautiful. There's always something fantastic happening in the kitchen, and everyone that works there is there to have fun. They're in it to make people happy, and that's pretty cool. I'm Bruce Carey. I own 4 restaurants in Portland, Oregon: Bluehour, Clarklewis, Saucebox, and 23 Hoyt. I started in the restaurant business in Eugene, Oregon at the Excelsior Cafe. While going to school, I put myself through a graduate program waiting tables at that very good restaurant. I stayed in the business because at some point after getting my degree at University of Oregon, you have to decide to get out of the business completely or give into it completely. With friends that were in the same boat at that time, we gave in.
You know, I think it goes back to Zephyro, Bruce's first restaurant. Really set the tone for a lot of restaurants and created that, and really was the start. Bluehour helped to continue that, and when you get that type of buzz, it draws really good people.
Each of the restaurants reflect a different time in my life. So at Saucebox, you know, the oldest restaurant in '95, I was, you know, into going out and having fun. That restaurant is youthful still and rowdy. Bluehour, you know, 5 years later in my career, reflects a more confident, refined sort of sensibility. Clarklewis is very Portland style, natural, smart, has a lot of integrity. And 23 Hoyt is like your favorite jeans, you know, comfortable, unassuming. I guess my point is I don't rely so much on market research or a demographic study as much as I look to my personal cravings as to determine what customers might also be wanting.
When people say, you know, working in restaurants like, you know, a little secondary family, and it really is.
It's magnetism. People want to be around charming people, and Bruce, I think, has brought that to this industry and helped to instill that into a lot of the restaurant managers that work around town, because that's where service sort of comes from. It's really hard to teach somebody to be hospitable. You either have that intrinsically in you or you don't.
You know, Bruce always has been able to generate a certain amount of excitement just by coming into a room.
He can be a little bit soft-spoken sometimes, ironically, but when he talks, and especially when he starts talking about the hospitality industry and what we do every day, you tend to listen. Because, you know, they're little gems that he'll throw at you.
Empathy, discipline, and control. Empathy to get into the hearts and minds of your customers so that you can give them what they want. Discipline because we start over every day in this business. We have to start over and make everything fresh and new again. And third, to keep emotions out of the tough decision making that's required of being a small business owner. It seems to me that the world is getting kind of blurry in terms of everything starting to resemble everything else. So it's important to make distinctions on things, especially in restaurants, based on quality. Advice for the next generation? Well, it's not to spend more time on your Facebook page. I think the opposite is true. In fact, I feel restaurants are the bridge between virtual relationships and those that happen when you get a group of people in the same room with good food and wine. You might say we are the antidote to modern isolationism.
Bruce left a huge impression on me, and I have a successful career in the food and wine business still, and he's one of the most influential mentors I've ever had. And I love him and appreciate that, and will always have that.
He deserves the award, I think, well, as an industry award, I think showing that, you know, capable of having a number of restaurants on different levels, different price points, different environments, a commitment to staying in the business, so again, longevity.
Sticking to the basic principles of hospitality. That's how I got here, and I'm humbled by the honor.